What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. It's September 24th, 2025. It's Wednesday. It's time for your AEW Dynamite review. I'm Ross Sapp. I am joined by Alex Pawlowski. You can see him all the time on Fightful Select at least twice a week doing sour graps, but also reviewing NXT. Now on Tuesdays, we have some exclusive news
between NXT and NXT's NXT.
Yes. We have some exclusive news on that storyline on FightfulSelect.com, including contract update on Masha Slamovic, who is mired in controversy right now. We hope that you will send in super chats, humper chats. That will get your questions or statements read on the air here. You can go to humperchats.com or here on YouTube, where we multi-stream. You can donate a super chat, but we are everywhere. We are on Twitch. We are on a variety of Twitter X accounts. We are on my Facebook, Fightful's Facebook. So if you are watching on any of those, go to humperchats.com, get those in. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, we are part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network now, along with our good friends Chris Van Vliet and Denise Salcedo. We're very proud to be a part of that group. So you can get our podcasts on platforms everywhere. Even our own website. You can just go over there, download the audio straight from the website. But Alex, this is an interesting period for AEW. There's a lot of moving parts right now. We had AEW All Out this past weekend. We had WrestlePalooza this past weekend. I even drove to Indianapolis the day before, which, let me tell you, that was a funny setup at the Gamebridge Fieldhouse where they clearly did not anticipate making the second round of the WNBA playoffs after Caitlin Clark has been out for 2 months. Yeah. So they had all this makeshift like balloon situation set up there. And you could see where they had apparatuses to roll things out of the way for the Fever and WrestlePalooza in quick order. Very funny stuff there. But we are in a situation where Will Ospreay, gone for a long time. Swerve, gone for who knows how long. Kenny Omega, likely to be back sooner than later, I believe. Now, Adam Edgeland Cope is gone home. Big name for AEW there. But this weekend, AEW got back Eddie Kingston, who had a stinker of a match, but glad to see him back. Jack Perry, and not only Jack Perry, a version of Jack Perry that is the most over version of Jack Perry that we've seen with Jurassic Express.
We'll see. That promo tonight did not suggest. Whoa, 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 whoa,
whoa. We'll talk about the Whispering Warrior later. We brought back Orange Cassidy and Pac. Those are quite the reinforcements to get back. I don't see any of them at the Swerve Ospreay level, albeit Orange Cassidy has long been heavily pushed, but a lot of people back in the fold in AEW, which is very, very good for them, because I'm not saying it was slim pickings or anything. It wasn't. But when you've even got Shibata not clear, there's an awful lot there. MJF may be going away for a little while as well.
Yeah, there's the thing about AEW is that they have an incredibly deep roster and a whole bunch of guys that can step up to fill the spot of the guys that step up to the top spot. Commander is coming back on Saturday. And while he's not like a top guy, but he's always impressive. Everyone loves watching him work. You can absolutely slot him into, for example, like what is happening on Saturday, a TNT title open challenge match where he's going to have a lot of fun jumpy things that he's going to do, and eventually Kyle Fletcher will beat him. It's going to be a great spectacle of a match that you can do on a Collision, and you'll always have a guy that you could do that. Lee Moriarty gets to step in and have a world title match tonight in his hometown of Pittsburgh. I thought he did great. Like, there's all these guys that are available, and with Kyle Fletcher, you have seen that literally, if you said, okay, well, our top 5-6 guys that we thought were main eventers going in to this year are out, I guarantee you they could easily, within a couple of weeks, slot 5 or 6 guys in that we would all go, I buy this guy as being at least a part-time main eventer. And there's a whole bunch of dudes that can do that.
Now, there was a person conspicuous by her absence, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Lots of questions regarding her and her status. LaRon Ford says, hey, SRS, what is Britt Baker's status in AEW after she didn't appear on Dynamite tonight in her hometown? Ray says, no Britt on the show tonight. Convinced she's gone from AEW. Tonight was the night to bring her back. I would have thought so as well. And we can kind of roll that into the women's tag title thing. I felt like if you were to have her come back, you could have her immediately after that announcement, her music hits and she says, sure, I'm back, I'm not alone, and you don't know who the person's going to be. Whether or not, but I mean, I think if you were going to bring her back, that would be a great way to do it. Her status is she still has at least a year left on her contract.
Right.
That's the long and short of it. I haven't heard of anything WWE related. You're going to see people put out reports like that are completely unsubstantiated. That, oh, but WWE has interest in her when her deal is. Listen, guys, those conversations have not happened that I'm aware of, but she's still got a year left on her deal. I believe she's healthy. I believe she has been open to returning. I know there were some things that she wanted to speak directly with some higher ups about. Don't know if that ever happened. Around the spring, I heard her name was tossed around creatively for a spot, and a big spot too. But I don't know that that's necessarily the best idea, considering that she was brought back and then immediately thrust into a major match that didn't work out well for her last year, Alex. And I think that she has been sort of, first off, listen, okay. Obviously there were issues there with MJF. There were some things like the reaction to the Serena match. Can't be doing that. Can't be burying somebody to that degree before it happens. But also, I understand why Britt Baker has her guard up. There are things that have happened to her, around her, about her, that would give her a reason to have her guard up. And I can't say I blame her that much. I also think that she is almost a victim of her own toughness, Alex, because I have often told this story about how she and I were doing an interview and David Koechner, the actor, walked by and he joked that he couldn't go to dinner with her because he had a broken leg. And she goes, yeah, I had a broken leg once and I finished the match. And he was like, very funny. And I was like, no, she did. And a broken arm and a broken nose.
Yeah.
And she wrestled through and worked through a lot of that. Now we're in a situation where 2 years, we've seen her in 5 matches. I know I just ranted a long time there, but if she was rusty a year ago, I don't know how she wouldn't be rusty now. And I would really, really like to see her back in the fold. I'd like to see them give it another shot. But I think that maybe a tag team would be a good idea. And I thought that would have been a really good opportunity.
A tag team, sure. I could also see her as the leader of a faction where she works rarely, but she does all the talking. You know what I mean? Like she does all the talking for whoever it is that is in the faction with her. I think she could be really good at that. She's a very good promo. Like, and also there was stuff that she was doing. This is now years ago when she was in a wheelchair that was always fun. Like she always made something fun out of all of her time that she got on television. I don't think that part's gone away. I think that you gonna put her in a tag team. That's good. I think that you could put her in a faction where there is a tag team in this tournament or however they're going to do it. And she's the one who cuts all the promos for them because they're part of her faction. I think you could easily do that with her and a tag team. And I don't know, somebody who kind of is the heavy for them, but you could easily do something like that. And I think she would take to it. And then she's not in a world title program right after coming back. She's building this faction. They're taking people out they don't like. They're recruiting people they might want. You could actually make that into a storyline that I think would allow her to use her talents to the best of her ability now while she's working her way back into, I'm ready to actually do some real working ring stuff.
So am very happy about the big announcement tonight. And it's a little bit of a, well, it's almost exactly what you asked for, because I've been asking for world tag team titles that can cross brands.
Right.
And they did announce AEW world tag team titles. Now, again, I hope that it does get revealed or something. Hey, these can be designed or defended along other brands, but made them look exactly like the men's. I got no problem with that. In fact, I thought it was a nice touch when WWE did that with their women's world titles. They made it look exactly like the men's, not some like tiny little thing or anything like that. Alex, this is something where it can be one of two things. It can be really, really good, or it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the fact that it took this long, leads me to believe that like it was something that people had to push for and the audience had to sound off on.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to give it the right amount of care. You got to give it the right amount of attention. Right now in WWE, if you've won one tag team match, there's no reason you shouldn't get a tag title shot. In AEW, they can really fill out some competitive matches as a result of this. And I am personally very excited, Alex.
Yeah, there's no shortage of ready-made women's tag teams. Not like, we could put this person and this person together. Like, they're already tag teams. They wrestle as tag teams a lot. They're part of women. There's factions of women. And you can easily put together a very cool-looking tournament. And then what you just need to do is make sure that those titles mean something. Because WWE put the tag titles on Charlotte Flair, of all people, and Alexa. And they're on TV, but it doesn't really feel like the titles mean anything. So, like, if you make that mean something where women are actively, like, trying to come after the titles the way that you have created a renaissance here with the men's tag team titles in AEW, I think that there's no shortage of great stuff you can do with a tag team division. Not the least of which is you could easily build new single stars out of tag team runs. You know what I mean? Like people who break out, like people we don't really recognize as being, I don't know about this guy as a singles talent, but then you see them in a tag team run and you see what they can do, and you see them on the mic, and all of a sudden they break out and they're now a single star. You can do that with a lot of women who you might not think would be that. I think it's a great opportunity. I hope it's a resounding positive for the division.
Let's talk about potential teams. Obviously Athena and Billy, natural team there. You have Ty J. You have Harley and Kris Statlander, which I think that honestly, Nyla and Harley would be a great team together, especially from a personality standpoint. Deonna Purrazzo and Taya, although I don't know how close Deonna and Britt are these days. Like I haven't heard of that. I mean, that would be honestly be a natural pairing. The Renegades, Mina and Tony. You've got Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I've got one to throw you out of left field to be in the tournament. Wow. Diamante and a returning Ivelisse just for the tournament as they won the Deadly Draw in 2020. Either that or the Nightmare Sisters. We getting Brandy and Allie back? Here's a funny one. Every person in the Deadly Draw tournament is either technically a free agent or under AEW contract.
Wow.
Ty J were one of the teams.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm pulling for Meganelope. I think that that's a fantastic team. I think Megan Bain would look amazing with gold around her waist.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, they could be the tag team that has Britt Baker cutting promos for him.
Yeah.
Like Britt would actually fit really well. Like I'm the real goddess around here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And let Bane be her heavy until she turns on Ford and Britt. I think it'd be really good.
People are seeing me definitely just want to see some backstage fights with Ivelisse back. They know the deal. Yeah. Listen, I have long thought you want to do a tournament like this, do a 16-team tournament.
Yeah, do it, man. They're not gonna
do it.
I want it.
I know, me too. Because I mean, listen, Lacey Lane and Catanzaro, just bring them in, do it. You can say former world tag team champions.
Yeah, you could.
I love Ruby Soho and Shotzi in there.
That'd be good.
Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor would be a really nice one. I think the Hex, as people bring up that, I love that. I think there are a lot of options to do this. Do a big, wide tournament and really crown this. I saw somebody say Sheeta and Shiri. Hose me down, bro. I've been begging for a Shiri US run since she left the UFC, brother. She's one of my favorite workers of all time. And I'm looking around at free agents and stuff like that. Not as many, by the way, of known tag teams, but yeah, there are some. Listen, I know Shayna is sort of flirting with a WWE agent job, but her and Marina,
listen, as soon as it became Tony already had the belts made, he's waiting around for the right, got to have the right amount of women who are healthy, whatever. The thing in my head that just kept me up at night was a Marina and Shayna versus Willow and Stat.
Yeah.
That feud would make the women's tag team titles a thing everyone wanted. And with Stat as the world champion, I don't think we're getting that anytime soon, but they could easily be. If you say, who is the tag team of the first 2 years of the women's tag team championships, you could easily say that even if they're not the first or the second or the third women's tag team champions, they had the longest run. They had the best matches. They had the best storyline. You could easily do that with Stat and Willow. I think they're so great together. I really want to see them as the tag team champs at some point here in the next couple of years.
What I would really, really love is, again, 16-team tournament. And what I would like is for them to say, we don't have an established tag team division, and we truly want to find out who the best women's tag team in the world is. And you pair up anybody with name value you can. I bet Shotzi and Scarlett would love to team together. They're good buddies. Put them in that. I would love to see stuff like that. And it's a good opportunity to get a good look at a lot of people. Also, I would have Veda Scott come in and do commentary on some of those matches, just like she did for Deadly Draw back in the day, because she has worked with a significant number of these women. I would specifically task Ian Riccaboni and Veda Scott with calling this tournament.
Yes.
I think that would be really good.
That would be excellent. It would be great.
Obviously, guys, I'm pretty excited about this and what it can be, because I think that it's a real opportunity for AEW. And I mean it to say, if you want to be a women's tag team wrestler, this is the place that you go. This is the place, and this is the prize that you want. And I think that's the right approach to take. I think they can do something very special. I don't think they got to sign everybody who's in this tournament or anything like that. But we have a bunch of super chats and humper chats about this. And we will talk about it right after I tell you about how great NordVPN.com/Fightful is. By God, guys, this weekend you probably spent a lot of money if you got ESPN Unlimited and AEW pay-per-views. Not if you got NordVPN.com/Fightful. I'm sitting there. Exactly. Damn it. NordVPN.com/Fightful. How about this phone? NordVPN. How about this desktop that I'm broadcasting to you guys from? NordVPN.com/Fightful. The router on my wall, that's NordVPN.com/Fightful. How about that studio PC, the Surface Pro, the smart TV on the wall, all NordVPN.com/Fightful. I think this sign might even have it. I don't know. But either way, it costs about $298 per month. You get 2 years plus 4 months free, 24/7 tech support if you think you can't figure it out. Trust me, it's easy. Download the app, change your virtual location, get Raw, SmackDown, NXT, PLEs on Netflix. Don't have to worry about ESPN Unlimited. Get your AEW pay-per-views at a much more affordable price. Upcoming TNA Bound for Glory show, much more affordable price. Remaining UFC pay-per-views, much more affordable price with NordVPN.com/Fightful. And it's not just me saying it. Stephanie McMahon is saying it. She's telling you guys to use a VPN. She didn't say Nord, but damn it, that's what she meant. She meant Nord. She meant. Yeah. The same as Huffington Post, the same as Wired, the same as Yahoo Tech, the same as Entrepreneur, the same as Business Insider. NordVPN.com/Fightful. And look at this. Andrew Lewis says, can't imagine not having it. Andrew Lewis Photography probably has it on his camera. Works on everything. Works on all your operating systems, all your devices. Probably got it on a Polaroid at this stage. Yeah. NordVPN is everywhere. We have a bunch of super chats and humper chats. Also, I want to make sure I checked Vicky's message here. Says, who's going to come after Hangman during this match? Sorry, I thought that usually she'll send me her super chat directly. Yeah. But I was a little bit behind on that one, Vicky. NordVPN does pay for itself, and Stephanie McVPN. She's talking about. She does it with style and grace.
Yes,
Alex.
Of course. Yeah.
It was very nice to see her reaction to the Hall of Fame announcement this weekend. Michael Allen Lewis says Penelope versus Pegasus.
Nah, Meganelope. It's always been Meganelope to me. It's always going to be Meganelope.
Bill says Harley and her Alex Pawlowski. Alex has seen his puppet, by the way.
I've seen it. I've seen it, not in the flesh or the felt. I have not seen it in the felt, but I will see it in the felt when it gets here, whenever that is.
I can't wait for you and Kate to feud, and you're going to be like, I'm coming for my pound of felt. Oh, Jesus. And people keep asking me to post them. I am not going to do that. Even though I paid for them, that is Alex and Kate's to reveal. Yeah. I will not spoil that for them.
That's right.
Tom LaValle says, women's tag belts bring in the Hex, a team from CMLL, another from Stardom. They're overdue, but AEW is on fire. As Sting said, AEW wins again.
That's right.
All-timer meme. Listen, I think the Hex should be. They're one of the most prominent teams on the indies. Yeah. They're one of the most identifiable teams on the indies. I think you should bring them in as well. Josh says Queen Aminata and Mina Shirakawa. Queen Aminata and anybody. You know what I'd love? I'd love it if they do like 15 teams and then the 16 is a random draw, and you know what happens. You know who she gets paired with. It's Tekla. and I've always pushed specifically for certain kinds of teams and acts, and sometimes they happen. I've always wanted a team of two people who don't really like each other, but their whole goal is to one up each other in beating the shit out of the other person. And that's what I would want to see.
Great. That'd be great.
AEW Women's Division blog says, years ago, Jamie Hayter said in an interview she wanted to be in the BCC. Could she end up being a Death Rider? Also call Tony and Mina the Timeless Lovers. That could happen.
That'd be nice.
Jamie in the Death Riders. I mean, I think they would, first off, they would make her change her aesthetic. Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she could fit there.
I think she could, and I think that it's kind of interesting because they were just preying on Daniel Garcia about how like they can't win the big one. You know, maybe it's time that you realize that our tactics are better for you. And they were doing the same thing with Stat, and then she won. So she didn't need them anymore because now she's the champion. But Jamie Hayter keeps coming close and keeps coming close. I can't quite get her title back. Maybe that is the impetus for her to like join heel. Maybe that's the through line for her. But I love Jamie Hayter. I think that she could do really good stuff. Is a little darker heel, but man, I love her in the Scooby-Doo outfits, man. I don't want to lose that.
Andrew says, excited for the women's tag titles. Thought Stat should have joined Death Riders. Also, have you heard anything about the AEW Jazzwares action figure situation? First off, I want to thank you all so much for showing out for the women's tag titles in the super chats, humper chats, because obviously we dedicate time to what you guys want to talk about, and this is by far the most talked about thing. And also something I've been asking for on this show for a year at this stage. So the Jazzwares AEW thing, it's a very interesting wording that they used. So the rumor emerged that Jazzwares and AEW were going to like part ways, and plenty of people in AEW had heard that. I had been asking around, and I think they issued a statement. It was Jeremy Padauer, who is the chief brand officer, and says, quote, I think it's fair to say that you've talked to me, and from everything you understand and I've said, we're making AEW product in 2026, which is very evasive wording as it relates to the future of action figures for AEW. Like, does it mean that they are finishing out their deal? That means they could. I've had people, Alex. No. My contract's not coming up in the next week or so. And then it's like 1 week and 2 minutes later, very literally. Their shelf space has declined. The buzz around them have declined. I would be shocked if we saw them continue by the end of 2026. But that being said, if that's the case, I hope AEW has another prominent partner ready. There are a lot of great figure makers these days, Alex.
Yeah. The figures that I've gotten from them, I really think are well made and really look really good. I just I think a lot of it, sometimes to me, it feels like they're not jumping on the bandwagon fast enough. A lot of people's first figures are coming after they're out of the company. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you could get on this a little faster. You know what I mean? But
absolutely. But yeah, it's something I am monitoring. I don't collect like I used to, but I'm certainly monitoring this, and I have some really good connections in the figure industry as well. Mm-hmm. Meet Normus says, "Great that we're finally getting women's tag belts." Lottie friggin' dime ever getting Meat Mayhem, or can we at least get a team of Nyla and Bazilla? That's honestly, it's a great shout. I know Tony likes Bazilla an awful lot.
Oh, how could you not? Jeez, she was so impressive in that match.
Khan and Toa Liona didn't know what a Meat Madness match was going to consist of when I asked them, and I was like, I figured they'd be clued in, maybe. But I'm hopeful that Meat Madness can be a thing because it's getting real meaty. It's getting real meaty and sausagey.
Getting very meaty, yes.
Gane Death says the issue with women's tag titles, it'll dip too much into the main and mid card while maybe becoming too repetitive, like in SmackDown right now. Well, that's WWE's fault. Because you can't tell me that looking at these divisions in the depth of characters on NXT that you could just apply to the women's tag division or the women's U.S. title division. Mm-hmm. It is all what you make of it. If you feature something on Collision every week, like a preliminary match for in that division, you're going to develop that division.
Yeah.
And feature the women's tag champions prominently. Like, listen, guys, 4 hours is plenty of time on TV to do this stuff. 4 hours is plenty. And you can also say, oh, well, they also picked up a win on ROH or something like that.
Sure.
Make this stuff mean something. That's all I'm asking. Matt Gray Sky says, during one of their street fights, Meg and Penelope wrote mega bad on a trash can lid. Belt them up.
Mega Bad isn't bad. It's not like that. Mega Bad is good.
LaRon Ford says, I'm excited for the announcement of women's tag titles in AEW, as well as AEW finally making both women's singles titles available for purchase on their website. It's been a long time coming. Well, I didn't know that, but I'm glad that they did. I mean, listen, that's the type of thing they should have done years ago. Years ago. They are so behind on that stuff. Well, Brodido defeated GOA. Very fun match. Ricochet on commentary. I love the backstabber headbutt combo that GOA do. Also, Bandido. It's funny because there's a lot of Ricochet comparisons there because he's known as a high flyer, but deceptively strong there.
Yeah.
Also love Brody doing like the double electric chair, and they get the win when Brody does a dive at the same time that Bandido does his suplex. Listen, a good tag team match to kick off the show, an important match.
Ricochet was perfect on commentary.
He really was.
The whole thing is like, now see this move, I taught them that. I taught them that one, and I also taught them how to tag. They had taught him how to hold the tag rope. Like, he was just being very, very, very matter of fact about all of the things that he taught GOA. I'm on the record saying it whenever I see it. We know how strong Bandido is. Okay, like I'm pretty sure if you asked him to like body slam a VW Bug, he could do it.
Yes.
The idea that was like Toa Liona, oh no, a guy who outweighs me by 60 pounds. I can't, like, Bandido is one of the most freakishly strong human beings that we've seen in wrestling recently. The idea that he would do the, oh no, my back to Toa Liona. It just, I always, listen, this goes back to watching John Cena struggle to pick up Baron Corbin. When I watched him The Big Show and Edge at the same time. I know how strong these guys are because I've seen their feats of strength. Don't then try to like snow job me by like maybe go, oh, he's that guy. He weighs 275 pounds. He can't do it. I always hate when they do that, but it quickly got away from that. I did like Bandido wanting in.
Brody, who has he picked up bigger than that?
Than Toa Liona?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yes, I will agree that he hasn't picked up somebody bigger than Toa Liona, but he's picked up guys who are 15 pounds lighter than Toa Leona with absolute ease.
At some point. So
you're saying that's the threshold?
Maybe that's his PR, buddy.
Takeshita and Hechicero. How much bigger than Hechicero is Toa Leona?
A lot.
A lot?
A lot.
Or is it 20 pounds? Is it 20 pounds?
Toa Liona is built at
Hechicero is a bigger
101 pounds.
He is not 300. That guy, he's slimmed down a lot. Toa Liona has slimmed down a lot.
He is listed as 70 pounds heavier.
Then
what?
He is
a Riho bigger. If we've learned one thing this week,
it's true.
From my idol, Gail Kim.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Come on.
Oh, yes, I have. Yes, Stephen Bradley, thank you. Listen, I have seen Bandido body slam Big Bill, and he didn't break a sweat. So if that's the case, then it shouldn't be too hard for him to pick up Toa Liona.
It's similar, though. It's similar. Hechicero. Are you kidding me? Hechicero.
What's Hechicero, like 260? He's
no, he's 229, which means he's actually 210,
really?
215. Wow. And here's the rule. Here's the rule, Alex. Even if you're Toa Liona and you've leaned out, you're still 301 pounds. That's the wrestling rule.
I get that part, but Hechicero 229? That's the biggest 229.
He's like 5'9", man.
No, he's like 5'9". Yeah, you're right.
Come on,
he's 5'9".
It's like, it's so funny because I remember like everybody thought for a while that Tomohiro Ishii would be like 260, and I'm like, oh, he's 5'6".
Yeah, he's smaller. He's smaller.
Oh my God. We had a super chat that got missed, but I'll read it, by God. Well, I thought, where is it? There we go. Orion Ben says, I never knew Toa was funny like that. I was dying. He's a
funny dude, man.
He's a very funny guy.
Like,
very funny dude.
He and Khan with Ricochet are really going to blossom out and like make into something. Obviously they weren't going to win here. Ricochet getting involved when he did, I did think was very funny, where he hadn't actually technically done anything yet, but Aubrey caught him in the act of doing something, and so he got thrown out and was very good at being thrown out. He absolutely did a perfect reaction to it, but that led to them losing. They weren't going to win here. I do think they could easily become the next Trios champions.
Yes.
I want to see these guys belted up.
N. Simmons says, loved the end of the match with GOA. Had this match won and Ricochet's arrogance cost them the titles. I think it's a good way to shift more of a serious heel and GOA to question his leadership. And for him to step up and say, okay, I'll show you that I'm a leader. Let's go after these trios titles, because now you have a reason for GOA to not directly be after the tag titles. They lost the Eliminator. They've lost this tag title match. So there's a reason for them to kind of move beyond that. So I also agree with you about the finish of this match. Joshua D says, Sean, real quick, good show tonight. The bar was low after WrestlePalooza. Oh, by the way, this MF spitting. I appreciate you, Josh. I appreciate you. We had a world title open challenge, and I'm very glad they explained why it was an open challenge, or that it was an open challenge, because I have some qualms a little later on, but Hangman Page defeated Lee Moriarty, and listen, it was going to be a good match when they announced it. Loved the Deadeye counter into the octopus stretch from Lee Moriarty, but this was a nice showcase for him. But also, Hangman Page beat him handedly, but had a challenge on his hands, so to speak. There, Alex.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of good stuff with Moriarty working the neck, which was hurt from the match with Fletcher. But it was that giant lariat into the Deadeye took him out, and I think that would take out anybody the way that Page is wrestling. But Moriarty did make the most of his minutes. I liked the idea of, I wanted to face the greatest wrestler available in this fair city, and it is Lee Moriarty. And I like that. I think that should be the Hangman Page thing for a while. I think that they should go to hometowns of guys on the roster and say, I wanted to face the greatest wrestler from this place. And then then you bring out some guy who's from there. I like the idea of that. It's very magnanimous.
Him becoming like a guy that will win road games. I really do like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We see a video from backstage at All Out, and Cope says that he has to go home and take care of Beth. And he doesn't know if he'll come back. And Christian is like, yeah, well, I'm staying because I don't have any family to go back to. And Cope says, yeah, you do. Shakes his hand. Kane Horn says, WWE fans on Facebook think Cope is leaving to wrestle Cena. I have certainly not heard that. Nobody in WWE has heard that. I will say, May of 2024, he said he had about a year and a half left on his contract, but that was before injury time would have been added to his contract. I don't think that Cope would leave AEW on a backstage segment, Alex.
No. Is there another season of the Percy Jackson Olympians thing he's got to go film? I don't know. Maybe there's some reshoots for season 2. I don't know. But also, this in story kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Beth got attacked. And I'm going to go take care of her. My kids are scared because mom came to try and help me, and she got hurt. So I'm going to go home and be with my family because this is affecting everything. That makes sense in a storyline wise. Then you got to figure, okay, so what is the thing that brings him back? Because I agree with you. He's not leaving for good. But I did like the thing of Christian saying, I don't have a family anymore. So you go take care of yours. And Cope being like, you got a family. It's me. And so maybe this is a thing that if Christian is sticking around, he's going to run afoul of the wrong we still have to do Christian versus Nick Wayne. That's a thing that still has to happen. Whenever Nick Wayne's foot is healthy, that match needs to take place. And yeah, there's no more kill switch involved with that faction, but maybe they'll find a different big guy who can like take out Christian, and then all of a sudden it becomes like the Cope signal gets sent up into the rooftops, and he's got to show up to help his brother Christian Cage.
So season 2 actually premieres December 10th, and they have already greenlit a 3rd season.
So he's going to have to probably shoot that at some point. But you know what he's doing now? Media tour for the 2nd season of Percy Jackson. Yeah, sure. He's getting an early start to it. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. FTR have a promo. They run down Cope. They run down Beth. And then Willow interrupts. Go ahead.
But they did it in the way like, I would like to apologize for the way that happened. This never would have happened. But because I couldn't see straight, I thought when I picked you up into the pile driver that you were your husband. I thought that was good. I also like, Cash being like, this never would have happened if your husband hadn't called you and brought you in to take out our friend Stokely. You beat up my best friend Stokely. So you have the only person to blame here is Adam Copeland. This was a very effective. Oops, we heard a lady heel promo. Like that was very, very well done by all of them. And when Willow came out, I was like, okay, Willow and Beth versus Stokely and who? Because that's what I thought we were getting out of this.
And this Willow came out, and Willow said that she always looked up to Beth, and that Beth is the reason why women like her don't have to take shit from guys like them. Jet Speed end up making the save here, so we're going to set up probably an absolute slapper of a Jet Speed match here with FTR. Cool. MJF cut a promo. Oh man. Love this. Love this. Well done. He had tax still in him. It was really good. And he feels like his own schedule got to him. And this did show him something. It showed him how dangerous he was. And he says he's going to come back. He's going to come back on his terms. And he's going to come back as the most dangerous version of him. He says he's going to do it his way. He pulled a tack out of his arm and chewed on it. I thought this was fantastic, Alex.
This is really well done. I really like this direction for him, especially if he's going to take some time off, justifiably so, to like actually have the honeymoon that he said he was never going to have. But like he said, I'm not coming back until I am the best, most evil version of myself. So he still has that contract. He still has that contract that has to be done again, at least a week out from the match. So let's say he's gone for a couple of months, comes back at the absolute opportune time to like take out Hangman on an episode of Dynamite the week before maybe it's a week before a pay-per-view or a major one of those named shows or whatever, not Grand Slam, but one of those other things they do. And then he signs the contract 1 week. That's all he says, 1 week. And then like that would be really cool to like show him come back and he's a different guy now. I think that the thing about Hangman is that I love him and I want him to be champion for a very long time. But he's a kind of guy who, once he loses the title, will still be one of the top guys in the company. Will be able to start chasing again. We'll start a whole new story where he's a separate from the title and he'll still be great. But he doesn't feel like, okay, well, this guy's got to have a 1-year title reign. Like you could easily even if Max waits until like, I don't know, Revolution-ish to finally come back and take him out then and then get the title. I think you could actually really do a good job with it.
Matthew Hook says, is MJF performing the Dynasty? That would be cool. I wouldn't hate that. I love Richard Holiday. I love Alex Hammerstone. You could put those two men on any wrestling program and they would adapt. That's how good they are. But I've not heard that. Oh, man. We have the Don Callis family out, and Don Callis is showing off some of his art, and he unveils his new piece. And then Orange Cassidy breaks through it with the phenomenal touch of the Tron going to the media offline Adobe Premiere thing because he's too lazy to do a Tron of his own.
Right.
And Orange Cassidy is back. This is after they had heavily teased this. Another big name coming back. Then he, Hologram, Mark Briscoe, end up winning this match. We don't want to talk about what happened after yet, Alex.
Yeah.
But the match itself featured Orange Cassidy back. It's like he doesn't realize that Chaos ever broke up, and he hugs Okada, who was in that group with him.
Good. Yeah.
You had Hologram wearing sunglasses of Orange Cassidy's, which was very, very nice. This was a fun match.
Yeah. The promo teasing who it would be with Mark Briscoe going, I don't know if I want to tell you about the juice. It's a juicy thing I'm going to tell you. I don't know if I'm going to squeeze all this information out of me. Like, okay, we get it. We know who it is. I got all that. We got it. But the one thing that did make me pop was Kyle O'Reilly after everybody else going like, where is my mind? I forgot to tell you. Whatever. Like he's great. He's great. Kyle O'Reilly's amazing. The match was fun. Hologram,
I think the bit was that it was the laziest surprise partner.
Oh, of course, that is that. Yes,
because like I love that Excalibur was making it seem like a big deal, and Danielson goes, "You don't know who it is." He's like, "No, I've got no idea who this is."
Yeah, it's just so good. But this is really cool to see OC coming back, doing a lot of his greatest hits. And I thought it was cool for Callis to because he could have sent out like Josh Alexander, Rocky Romero, and Lance Archer to take the loss, but they sent out their three heaviest hitters minus Kyle. I thought this was well done. The orange punch into the proto bomb or whatever they call that. Not the proto bomb. It's not proto. Portal.
Yeah, the portal bomb. Portal bomb.
Not proto, because proto would be Protostar, Cal Fletcher. But I thought this was all really well done. And then they're finally doing a thing next week that I've been begging for them to do since Hologram was 15-0. Like, I think it was about 15-0 where I was like, at some point you got to rip the Band-Aid off and give this guy his first loss if you're not going to make him a champion.
But we'll talk about that.
Finally doing it, and I'm very excited for it.
Let's hold off on that for a second. We got Gennady Death says they couldn't pull 3K in Pittsburgh. Britt will be missed. I don't know that Britt was going to bring in that many more people at this stage, but I wish that they would have given it an effort. I want to see that. But there's still a year left on her deal, man. Like, I'm not going to sit here and assume that somebody's going to be off TV for like 2 years. Yeah. I'm not going to assume that. So after the match, Kyle Fletcher's music hits. He comes out and he challenges Hologram. I love that he challenged Hologram.
Yeah.
Because he said it. He was like, been undefeated a year. Why haven't you been challenging for a title? What's going on? Like, you afraid of me? What's going on? So I love this in Kyle Fletcher in that he lost the world championship and he knows that he's going to be the best TNT champion.
Yep.
And he wants to make a mark. And he's like, your streak, my title next week. I love that, Alex.
Yeah, it's great. He gets to, we get to see, like, at this point, of all the guys in AEW for Hologram to take a first loss to, like, Kyle Fletcher is a guy you can do that to with no shame whatsoever. Kyle Fletcher is like, he's a current champion and the absolute top dog in the company in like 18 months. at the right that he's rising, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. So, like, this is a really good, and maybe this sets up a rivalry to go forward. You know, if Hologram comes way closer to winning this than Kyle Fletcher had bet on, then maybe it comes the other way. Well, Kyle Fletcher says, are you scared of me that you won't challenge me for the title? Then I'll challenge you for the title. Hologram comes this close to winning, and then Fletcher says, I don't want a part of that guy ever again. And then he's got to not run from him, but make sure that there's no way that Hologram gets another title shot. If you told me that Hologram was the next TNT champion when they're ready for Kyle Fletcher to move up and become the world champion in a couple of months, I wouldn't say that would be a bad idea. I think Hologram has been doing great. And once he loses that first match, then all of a sudden, now you don't have to start worrying about, oh, well, he was on a tag team that lost, and now his record is blemished. You know what I mean? Once he's got that first loss, you don't have to worry about any of that kind of booking puzzle you got to solve.
N. Simmons says this felt like a Kyle face teaser, and it worked. I think more than anything, it's him wanting to be great, and that's what this is. Like, he's embarrassed that he lost. Yeah. Elklon, so yeah, they had a teaser for that as well, which is good news because it looked like he was going to he looked like he was facing an injury last month, and they kind of held off on those.
Okay.
Hologram versus Darkergram in a Tron themed match. They better not at all.
Better not. Yeah.
D-Matic, the producer, says I think it's time for a character change for Orange Cassidy. We have a video of him out of character from like 20 years ago on our YouTube.
Yes.
I think that is the alternate character. That's like, I saw somebody in the comments say he's permanently had a hangover since then. And I'm like, okay. It's possible. I mean, see that video? Hell yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
He had a fish. It was like that big.
Yeah.
Insane. Walking
very
down
possible.
The street with a fish.
Yeah.
Thomas says, so we announced the women's tag titles, but no tournament or match for them yet. Feels like we should have known tonight how we're crowning the first champs. I disagree with that because it gives the audience and people like me opportunity to just create the buzz on our own ahead of them announcing it.
And I'd rather they not rush into anything. I'd rather they like, okay, well, let's get all of our lady ducks in a row, pairs of ducks in a row, and then put those rows into brackets and make sure there are 16 pairs of ducks, and then we can announce it all at once. But if you're going to do a tournament, you're not allowed to start the tournament before you've told me who all is in the tournament. I hate when Tony Khan does that. It's like, we're having a tournament. Here's the first match of the tournament. And 3 weeks later, he finally gets around to telling me who everybody is in the tournament. You need to tell me who everyone is in the tournament or I'll lose my mind. I can't. The anticipation, the speculation, it's too great.
Jurassic Express vignette. Lupongi Vice says decent follow-up. Needed more boys and dinosaurs. And Cardwood says, excited for Jurassic Express to be back and was howling at Jack referencing Luchasaurus's infamous Big Brother victims aren't we all speech. Now, that was lost on me. I had no recollection of that. I had no knowledge of it. I'm not a Big Brother like guy. So I guess that makes a little more sense. Does AEW's men's tag team division feels reinvigorated? Will Fightful add tag titles and will the puppets win them? No. I'll get you all the sneaker belt that AEW or Reebok sent me one time. But you had mentioned this promo a little bit earlier, Alex.
Everyone was so excited because Jungle Boy is back. Luchasaurus is back. And like all we know is he's not Kill Switch. So he's Luchasaurus. But like, is it Jack Perry or is it Jungle Boy? And they keep calling them Jurassic Express and all this stuff, but like they showed the clip of it and everyone's like happy and they're singing the song and everything. And then like, hey, next week on the 6th anniversary Dynamite, Jurassic Express returns. And they show a picture of them smiling. But this video was decidedly not Tarzan Boy. Like it wasn't at all. He was like,
you can't go back. You can't go from Jungle Boy to the scapegoat back to Jungle Boy. You can't do that.
I agree. The biggest reaction, the most people reacting to this was, thank God we got rid of Dark Jack Perry, and now he's Jungle Boy again. I can't wait for him to shave the beard. Like,
that ain't happening.
Here's the thing. I want to see what tightrope they walk between, like, what is this dark tweener verse that they could inhabit? Because this promo that he cut was dark, and he was whispering the entire thing.
He's Jungle Bro Jack Perry.
Yeah, some Jungle Man. He could just be Jungle Man Jack Perry. We could all like that, you know. I think Orion Ben says Dr. Jackenstein.
Well, listen, if you want to be Dr. Jackenstein and your dick is stuck in the prehistoric ages, use Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL. Get your first shipment free, even to a cave, wherever you're living. Emerge from that cave and get into another hole with Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL. No awkward doctor's visits, no awkward pharmacy visits. You go to bluechew.com. You speak with an online physician, and if approved, it ships straight to your door. And right now, you get your first shipment free. Just pay $5 shipping. It's got great active ingredients that give you that main event level performance, whether it's singles or tag team action. I'm not here to judge whether we're not going to say a jungle boy. You're a jungle man, or you're literally a dinosaur. Blue Chew has something that's going to help you reach that championship level and give you that confidence. Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL, they've been with us for years. So many satisfied customers with Blue Chew and the code FIGHTFUL. Listen, if you're having trouble satisfying your loved one to the point to where during your own streams, they try to come to our streams and troll us because they're unsatisfied with their lives, you need some Blue Chew. Just go ahead, do yourself a favor, get that Blue Chew, use the code FIGHTFUL, make your life a little bit more happy than it is already. Use that code FIGHTFUL, guys. Tom LaValle says, is it Tron Ares, and who is rumored who is rumored as El Clun? It's Ares. That's who it is.
Ares, not Ares, but Ares.
Ares.
I get it.
Claudio Castagnoli defeated Powerhouse Hobbs thanks to Pac. This was a meaty. I just love that Powerhouse Hobbs is like, so here's my game plan. I'm going to body slam you 15 times in a row, and I will continue to do it until you stop me from doing it. I really like that. Jordan says Claudio was in that hallway looking like Darth Vader, no Hook and Kingston. But do you think they add anyone else to the Death Riders? We'll discuss that at the end. Luis, add that to the end of the show. Orion Ben says there were 65 punches in this match. This was meaty AF, Alex.
They were slamming into each other. You know, the big meaty men. Slapping meat, as they say.
Yes.
This was a lot of fun. I'm happy to have Pac back. However, I'm happy Pac back. I'm happy to have Pac back, but I said Pac
back. Pac back. Okay.
Pac back. Because I call him Pac because I don't want to say Pac because it looks weird.
Well, listen, you said you're happy to have Pac back. I was like, well, I thought you were vaccinated.
No, not Pox, not the Pox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pox box.
Yeah. No, I Pac back. Happy to have Pac back.
Okay.
But if his role is going to be I distract a guy so he can get small packaged, that's not the best use of Pac in my mind. One week does not make a new role. However, the re-debut and tonight does make a fashion statement. I'm not sure if I know how to deal with Pac not in trunks and boots and that's it. Like this is a whole different. He's wearing baggy sweats, and I'm not sure if I understand what to do with that version of Pac. You know, like it scares me a little bit. I fear change. I'm getting older. My birthday is on Friday. I'm going to be 46. So I fear change as I get older, and this new version of Pac, I like it back in my day.
Well, I mean, Pac is back. Hobbs is big, black, and jacked, and got rolled up from the back while MJF chewed tacks. So
true.
That all happened on this show. All of it. Renee has an interview with Kris Statlander. Chi-Town Spurs says Willow and Stat freaking rule. This was good, and then it led into Mina doing an interview and saying she hadn't heard from Tony. I mean, listen, we didn't have, again, we're missing the people that we're missing, obviously. Yeah. Osprey, Swerve, Omega. Then there's, Cope and MJF only backstage. Mm-hmm. Tony, not shown. Eddie Kingston, not shown, wasn't there. And this didn't feel like a show that was missing a lot of people. No. I thought they did a good job there. Now, we had Kris Statlander defeat Mina Shirakawa. I have issues, Alex. Mina Shirakawa, I was there when she won the interim ROH television championship.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times she has defended that interim championship since then?
I'm going to say 0.
That is a correct answer. Do you know how many world championship matches she has had and lost since then?
I'm going to say more than 0.
It's 2. It's 2. Why? I like Mina. She's great.
I like Mina too. I don't think that there should be an interim champion if that interim champion isn't defending the title actively
in the interim.
Because then you could just have the person who is injured still be the champion if they're not going to defend the title either. So why not? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I thought that the reason was the connection with Tony and how kind of it's, I wish they would be more specific about this, but like Kris says, she did say tonight, I want to be a fighting champion. So I said to Tony, give me somebody. I want to wrestle. I want to defend the title tonight. And Mina was the first one to say, I will take that match as kind of like revenge for my friend Tony. All of that makes sense, right? Like within this little bubble, it makes sense. However, in the greater scheme of things, we should have somebody who's like 5-0 in their last 5 matches, who just immediately gets that title shot because they've been booked so well in these past few weeks. I think you could easily do that, but I understand why it happened. I think that Mina is great. I think that, listen, we got cheated of Toni Storm losing her mind after Mariah May beat her. Like, that was one of the things I wanted the most out of Mariah beating Toni Storm, was seeing her descent into absolute madness without that title. And I really was intrigued with her losing to Statlander and the look on her face that was more bewilderment and almost relief that she wasn't the champion anymore. And so I'm going to need that character to be on television at some point, because I'm really excited to see what Tony would do with that. 1 week off is fine. If we start getting 3-4 weeks off with no Toni Storm reacting to her losing the title again,
yes,
it feels like a missed opportunity, because she is such an amazing performer, and I really want to see what that version of her is.
Also, Mina is defending the title tomorrow, but listen, I don't care. She got 2 world title matches, as Jordan says. She's defending against the former Caden tomorrow. So anybody want to tell me what? Never mind. Listen, I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. What do people do to get title shots ever? Yeah, but it's like, okay, man. Okay. Tom LaValle says, this is not Pac. I don't know who he is. He's from Oasis. He looks like it.
He does.
Kris Statlander gets the win, and then the Death Riders come out to surround her, celebrate with her. She allows Wheeler Yuta to raise her hand, and then she clotheslines Wheeler Yuta, ducks Marina, and then flips off Jon Moxley in a great visual. Escapes from the ring, flips him off from the ring or the audience area with Harley as well. Yeah. Really, really great. Really great stuff. And Jordan did say Claudio was in the hallway looking like Darth Vader, no hooking Kingston, but think they add anyone else. I think that adding Daniel is enough for them to add.
Not only did they add Danny Garcia, but they just got back Pac.
Yes.
Got back. So that's basically 2 more members they just got, because it's been a while since Pac got injured. So
they could
recruiting Daniel and getting him back. They don't need anybody else.
Yeah, since getting Pac back, maybe they could add Orange Cassidy's little black backpack.
They could. But it would be nice to see Marina get somebody on her end to help her with somebody, because I think that I was scared here, because I'm on record saying I didn't want to see Statlander join the Death Riders. It was not a thing I was wanting. When Harley came out to give her a hug, at the same time Wheeler came out and Marina came out and Pac and Claudio and then Moxley, and the only person who was on the good side of Statlander who was out there was Harley. Like, all signs pointed to her just faking like she was going to leave with Harley and then attacking Harley and beating her down to signify, like, now that's a heel turn. If you destroy Harley, who's all of our favorites, like, that's the kind of person you want to turn heel on. So I'm really happy they did the swerve and had her turn on Wheeler Yuta. And I love that she was like, okay, well, I obviously can't stay here because there's so many more of you than me. Zoop! Yep. Like, she just ran at it. I love that. I thought it was really good.
Darby did come out with a flamethrower, said that he challenges Jon Moxley to an I Quit match at Wrestle Dynasty, which we pretty well agree is the I'm going to set you on fire, so you got to quit match.
Yes, it is the there will definitely be a flamethrower spot at the end of this match. But I think it is interesting that, like, if you want to go to an AEW show and sit in the front row, just instead of like if you go to a Gallagher show where you got to put the tarps over you, you might get some watermelon all over you. In this one, you guys should come wearing like a full face shield so your eyebrows don't get singed off. Because that's a flamethrower. Like, it's far too close to paying customers for my liking as somebody who might be afraid of, accidentally that tank catches fire and explodes. Like, that's a hell of a spot to pull out on a random Dynamite. I get a little nervous with things like that.
Wrestle Dream, not Wrestle Dynasty. There's so many dreams and dynasties and all that shit. Inflatable Carnival says AEW is so hot, the ending was pure fire. I thought it was a good angle to set up the I Quit match, personally.
It was pure fire, huh? Like the kids say. Get it?
I am interested to see how Collision looks with this new sort of roster.
Yeah,
the roster reinvigoration and all that. As I'm looking, where are they? Oh, they're my neck of the woods. Neck of the woods-ish, Huntington, West Virginia. Mm-hmm. The place that I lived before this, I would always say it was equally inconvenient to get to Lexington, Cincinnati, and Huntington. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm interested in that venue because usually everything there is like at the Big Sandy Superstore Arena, and this one's at the Marshall Health Network Arena.
Okay.
But then next week is AEW Dynamite, the 6-year anniversary. Then they go to Lakeland, Florida after that. You got Title Tuesday coming up, so you're back in some familiar areas there for a little bit, but it is the post all out period where, listen, a lot of times we wonder, like, okay, how dedicated is Tony going to be during NFL season and all that?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that right now the roster is in good shape. But Alex, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me at Alex Sourgraps on all the medias social. You can find me on this very YouTube channel reviewing NXT every Tuesdays, which is now apparently going to be TNA as well. So, but not on Thursdays. That's Joe Pearl. It's a different guy, not me. But Tuesdays, it's NXT TNA. We're going to do that on Tuesdays. But on behind the paywall of FIFA Select, you're going to see me review on Mondays and Fridays. Not this Friday. I'll be out of town doing so no SmackDown review. However, fans of the show have been extremely generous and have sent me ridiculous amount of gifts for my birthday. I'll be doing a special unboxing of all the stuff that they sent me tomorrow evening. So look out for a time for that. It's been really a lot of fun. Everyone pitched in and was far too generous. So for my birthday, sent me a whole bunch of stuff. Tomorrow we're doing that. And then on Saturday, from my Airbnb, I will be doing a
Where
it's in a small town called Litchfield, Illinois. It's near where my wife went to college. It's her homecoming weekend. She's going back. She's getting the Distinguished Alumni Award for those under 40. She won that this year, and so we are going to celebrate her. And while we are there, I will be watching NXT No Mercy and doing a review on this very YouTube channel Saturday night.
I was hoping it was somewhere like Woodsy and such, but let me tell you what came up when I Googled Litchfield, Illinois. This is great. I hope this is your actual Airbnb, Alex, because this is legitimately what comes up.
I hope so. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
It's cozy.
It's very cozy. Yeah.
There was once upon a time where Jimmy, as a bit, offered to buy me the House of Horrors because it was a horrible looking house.
I remember.
But I had to live in it for at least a year. And now I wish I would have because of property values.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? I could sell that thing for 6 figures now.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Kidding me?
You're right.
But either way, we will preemptively wish Alex a happy birthday for this weekend.
Thank you.
Hope you have a great one. Hope you enjoy your time.
Guys,
until next time. Actually, JP says, didn't have Gallagher on my bingo card for the show, but Alex always brings it. It's already been brought in.
Yeah, it's already been brought.
We're out.